Nah, he still achieved his goal.
And that would be
Become
No.
the ultimate simp.
The ultimate simp.
Is it still a simp if he still got noticed?
I mean, probably.
Well, is Matt
what
still a simp?
happened to my thing?
Probably.
Matt's always gonna be a simp.
Uh,
Uh,
Okay. I don't.
who knows. Ah, blue boy.
I don't know whether it was two of me. But hello, stream. Hello, everyone.
oh, are we live?
Oh, we're live now. We are indeed.
Such live, many wow.
Such live.
oh
many wow.
shit.
Double face cam pog now. Welcome. Today is just going to be a post-mortem for Kingdom of L. If you don't know exactly what that means, this is basically me allowing the players to give feedback, to talk about their experiences, or their overall experience and everything of that nature. And yeah, it'll be fun. So far, I've got Kuro, who played Rurik. I've got
Hello.
Juggy, who played Zalo. And Hugo. And Ronan.
And Ronan,
uh,
who wasn't there in the finale, but he still was in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be talking about that too, actually. I've got Dax, who played Sylvis, and Basalt, and for a very short second, a professor. I cannot remember the professor's name.
Bartus,
Professor Bartram Crane.
Bertram
Yeah,
Crane.
that. And then I also have Yuzu here, who played Ara. And yeah. So Kingdom of L, obviously, is over. Nightmare. I'll try to avoid spoilers of the finale.
I mean, that's gonna be kind of hard. But
I know. We can see if we can try. But
you said it's all good.
but yeah, Kingdom of L ended. I think it ended well. It was a long fight. It was about a 4-hour fight.
Yes, it was.
So it took about 2 hours to get to the fight.
To be fair, that's how most hours last. That's how most fights. That's how long most fights last.
Yeah.
There we go. My stroke is done.
Yeah,
I got through it.
It definitely took a while. But yeah. Overall, for the campaign, what were y'all's thoughts on it? Good, bad, needs work here, needs work there, perfect here, perfect there.
I
Give me
mean,
1 sec.
And we lost
Okay.
Juggy. He said 1 sec, so he'll be back hopefully.
you good, Juggy?
Yeah, it was breaking up a bit for me. I think
Uh,
snowstorm's starting to kick in.
I mean, I have a thunderstorm happening, so I may get disconnected too.
What's better now?
I guess I can
Yeah,
go first.
campaign, pretty good.
Or,
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
well, this is the first campaign I actually got to finish. All the others were like this, that, boom, done,
Mm-hmm.
and never continued again. It was a great experience that I had. There were some points where it was starting to go downhill a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to remember those points, but after that, it went back up. But it was not a nice experience.
I'm glad to hear that. Also, and I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but if y'all do have any strong negative feedback, you are more than welcome to share it. I'm not going to take it personally. or get mad, because I want my next campaign to be way better. And I've got 4 months to do it. So, I will take anything and everything. Anybody else?
Well, witnessing the campaign from both sides, as far as the Wednesday side went, the only thing, like, I guess the only suggestion I would make was towards the end of the campaign, like the sessions kind of like got very bare bones in
Oh.
terms of just like, it would basically just be find some place, find a new place, search it, combat, done, and then I kind of got into that same pattern a lot. I would have preferred like a bit more opportunities for like actual role play elements and like character interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to agree with Juggy on this one. Like, most of the time, I don't even know if people did downtimes at all. And that's what took apart of the role playing aspect from the main campaign.
There was a lot more time for downtimes near the beginning of the campaign as a whole.
Yeah. But then it
the-
pretty much broke apart and disappeared.
I mean, yeah. I think part of that was I like travel to be pretty quick. And the other the other big factor for me for downtimes was that I really only got approached by Juggy to do actual downtime stuff at the beginning, and even when there was time to do it further into like the middle of the campaign. So for me, it kind of seemed like, yeah, and Yuzu did downtime as well, but it seemed to me that the players, by and large, didn't seem interested in doing anything like that. But I made time for when they did come up.
Yeah, the tricky thing about downtime though is like it doesn't come up often, especially with like because most of the time the sessions would end in
In the middle of something.
yeah, in the middle of something, which would make downtime kind of impossible because there'd be no time in between sessions to actually do something. So
Yeah.
which I won't hold against you because like that's a completely unforeseen circumstance with how the sessions go. Like sometimes they go
Yeah.
on for too long that we have to cut things short halfway.
Yeah. One of the things I want to do in my next campaign is I want to make sure I don't end sessions just in the middle of a dungeon as best as I can.
But you know that's gonna happen no matter how hard you try.
Yeah, I know it is. But that falls entirely on me to just have things go a bit more smoothly as a whole. Because it's one thing to get a party of players into a dungeon, or whatever it might be, and to clear it. But there's also there's another factor of how long will combat actually take, and because Roll20 hates most of us,
Yeah.
we don't have the best rolls with Roll20. Or as I found it last night, neither does Fantasy Grounds, because I got killed in Fantasy Grounds last night. It was hilarious, but I have to reroll a character now. I rolled a nat 1 on a death save. With one failure already.
No.
Yeah, it was bad. But
yeah,
F.
that's one of the reasons why I had a real dice when I posted that one day. I mean, at the end, Like you saw me switching back and forth using one or the other. The reason why is because I was trying to get used to the roll 21 because we were gonna do that at the final session
Da.
and had to go back and forth.
Yeah, and I think that's something else I'm gonna do in the future. Is either have everybody use Roll20 or have everybody use real dice. But
Honestly,
fuck,
rolled like
Roll20
I was
sucks.
I was rolling way better than I expected to on Roll20 last night. Like,
Yeah, it seems like the update for
and I feel like that's probably just because I had a ridiculously high modifier in most of my shit, but
Yeah,
I was barely missing. And that's even me being a dumbass and forgetting one of the main features I had, which was to have advantage on all spell attack rolls that I totally forgot about like halfway through the campaign.
I
yeah.
know that's the one thing that we keep forgetting of advantages.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing that was missed by players as a whole in this course campaign was the tax of opportunity, because there were so many times where an enemy would move and people would forget that they
Well,
can
I'm not
attack.
I'm not gonna lie, like half 90% of the reason for me is that I would just be tapped out during combat until my next turn, not even realizing that an enemy was like leaving my melee range.
yeah, I do agree with Juggy. I do tap out from time to time, but other than that, most of my time, most of my reactions were uh, pretty much about trying to stay alive. Because for for my character, the Battle Master subclass, I had parry,
Mm-hmm.
and with it, I didn't want to use my reaction because that takes a reaction for parry. So most of the time, I don't do that just in case, like, but say another enemy comes up and attacks me.
No, I get it.
That's also another thing you got to be careful about when you add a lot of homebrew elements to campaigns because most subclasses in D&D already has like way too much shit to keep track of to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
Yeah.
add even more stuff to that, that's just more shit to keep track of, which in turn becomes more shit that players forget, which was like a really big problem with this campaign of players forgetting like basic features that they had or like when I made Hugo, and this was towards the end of the campaign, but even at like level 10 or 11,
Mm-hmm.
even without any homebrew shit, the amount of features and traits to go through was like it's
Overwhelming.
it was like trying to memorize a fucking like, Bible. It was just so much shit that when which is like made my turn so long because I have to read through like okay, what can I do? Like what can I do for an action? What's a bonus action that I can take here? It was a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
I will say in my defense of Hugo in particular, Hugo also came in at I think 7th or 8th level, and
Yeah,
one of the things with PCs in general is that typically you're starting with that character and you're ending with that character, so you grow with that character, you learn things as you go with that character, which should help minimize that amount of remembering you're trying to do. Like a prime example for me is fucking Lena in your campaign. Uh, like I started I think at like level 5 and slowly made my
yeah,
way
five
up.
or six.
And for clerics, there's already a lot. Like from level 1 as a cleric, you already have a shit ton of things you have to try and keep in mind, and you have to think about every long rest. You can prepare new spells and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Um,
That's one thing I
but
hate about D&D is that it takes so long to do just one thing just to get it over and done.
That's why I typically like to
it
start
does.
my campaigns with PCs at like level 3 at least, because that way like you know you get to just jump right into it. You can skip all the tutorial shit, which is like the first 3 levels.
Pretty much.
But all things considered, I made Hugo in his entirety, like stats, personality, backstory, all that shit in like maybe under an hour.
Yeah.
I think 8th level, and it's another character to add to my vault there.
A ball full of characters.
I will say, because L was like the second campaign that I ever played through its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
Like story wise, because the first one that I played we ended at level 12, which I thought was ironic because we ended this one at level 13. So
Yeah. I think some of us.
I feel like I'm
will see
maybe just
something.
cursed because both campaigns got sped up by one player completely just retconning the entire fucking world, speeding
Yeah.
things up
Cough,
significantly.
Ralph, cough.
Oh god.
Hobo will know what I'm talking about for the first campaign, but yeah, Zala's definitely like climbed the ladder of my favorite D&D characters that I've made.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, Yuzu. Oh.
Yikes. It should recover at Yuzu.
Yeah.
I will say I do like everyone's characters for the most part. There's obviously a few that irritated me more than others. But by
Which ones?
uh,
Campaign's done. You can name them.
Okay, I know I asked
I
this
mean-
before last time, but it wasn't on stream. And this for everyone who's played it, obviously. Who's your favorite player character out
And you
of
can't pick
all of
yourself.
them?
Let's make it.
Obviously not yourself, but
Um.
okay. Well,
who's? Oh fuck. Who's my
I mean, for
favorite?
me.
See,
I-
while people are thinking of that answer, the PC never got to do much, but Raven sure would have hated Bartram Crane had Bartram Crane stuck around, easily taking the cake for least favorite.
It's pretty hard to go below Gold Eater.
No, I can no, not in terms of stupid shit, Raven. In terms of what I could do to you, you would have hated it.
What your
of just
your-
absolute
your
game
time
breaking
manipulation
stuff.
Wizard that can fuck with time and
Yeah.
has better counterspell.
Yeah. That would have been interesting to deal with.
I know that was a.
Oh yeah.
That was a
That's
fun
actually
thing.
one of the things I
Counterspell.
actually wanted to talk about. The major negative thing is you put NPCs for us to battle against,
Mm-hmm.
but you never had them to use spells or whatnot. It just felt like one sided of either archers or.
Oh no, he had spells. He was going up against Zalo, the counterspell master.
Yeah, but even then, spells should have still been like here and there. Like you could still use spells from another group and whatnot because you could.
I was gonna say I had a lot of spellcasters. I don't know. I don't know where you're coming up with this.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
Counterspell is like always a very controversial, I want to say, thing when it comes to D&D 5e, because people are just like, oh, it breaks the game because it turns into a war of attrition of, oh, well, why would I, as the DM, bother to cast a spell when I know my PCs have counterspell?
I mean, I was gonna say like, Reyna pretty much only used spells. I mean, fucking Sunday team went up against a literal town of mages, my homebrew class. Like spells
Oh, yeah,
aren't
that was fun.
spells weren't.
I wasn't
uncommon.
even in the game at that point, but
Yeah, and that
watching
was Sunday group, but Wednesday group never fought any spellcasters except for the final boss, Reyna.
I feel like he did.
No, I mean, Ephes was technically a spellcaster, but after you counterspelled his teleport, Ephes was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, that one
Let's
I
do
can
it.
understand.
And then he got fucked. And then we never really got to have a rematch because I banished him.
Yeah, we We never did.
Yeah, we need to talk about banishment, y'all. Um, fuck banishment. I fucking hate that spell. That spell is it. Granted, both teams used it for the right purposes at specific times.
Yeah, they did.
Fucking Krusty's character banished 2 dragons. With the item being untasteful being humans. You banished Ephes using a Toyo, because a Toyo in game spent so much time taunting this fuck.
Going back to who our favorite PCs were, a Toyo's hands down. Mine has to be a Toyo.
I'm kind of inclined to agree, to be honest. I really liked a Toyo. Honestly,
Like he grew on me a lot.
Oh yeah. I wish you can show this, Raven, but I want to show what I did for a Toyo.
Like a Toyo just had
Image
like
I made.
he really just encompassed all the good things about playing a bard.
Yeah.
He had like god tier comedic timing, and he just came up with like the most creative and like outlandish strategies and ideas that, like I said before, they were hilarious to see fail, but they were like so goddamn rewarding when they succeeded.
Yeah.
Because he broke things down on like such a technical level that
we all thought of.
So for everybody in chat, this is the Hero Forge model that Kuro here made for a Toyo. And it fucking it looks good.
Yeah. So what I did was, after Dax introduced me to Hero Forge, I was like, that is fucking awesome, and I created my characters. It's like, I want to do this as a nice thing I want to do to finish the campaign, and I asked all KOE players to send me like images and whatnot. Atoyo, Grace, they sent images and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I recreated them. They're awesome. On the other hand, I barely had access to any of the DM stuff or characters sheets. So I went on to Roll20, zoomed the fuck in on all the images. That's why Yuzu's character took a while, because I was trying to get all the details and whatnot. I didn't know what anyone had, and I had to fix a couple of them multiple times.
I mean, if I gave you any more access, you would have been able to edit their sheets, and I wasn't gonna let that happen.
Oh no, I am not that kind of person. I just wanted to see what they had. Nothing else. I didn't even know Grace's character Mavis had a mall.
Yeah. No, she definitely did. Also, I definitely lit a cigarette at the wrong end and didn't notice until I started tasting the cloth. Oh, that was gross. That was absolutely disgusting. So here's my thing with bosses, mini bosses, and spells in general. I as a player and as a DM, I do not like spells, just as a whole. It's also easier for me to make enemies that are based in actual combat versus casting combat. Reyna was a huge exception because Reyna literally had control of every school of magic from every class of magic available. On top of that, and this is the biggest thing to keep in mind, especially when talking about NPCs or enemies in L who used magic versus those who didn't. if we were to go through every fight, and figure out where those enemies came from, most of the enemies came from the Circle of Seven. Circle of Seven are primarily bandits. They're not really casters as a whole. They are dickheads with giant fucking weapons that like to use them. The demons, though, I think every demon or fiend I threw at y'all has some kind of spell or something like it.
LOL, remember when we were fighting demons?
Oh yeah, what was that one character that when it was just me and Juggy, Curl and Juggy, and along with Ivar, I believe, we were going to a cave that had like alligators in it. What was that one guy that's like, oh, do you not remember?
Are you guys talking about the day that Ivar offered a bedroll to?
The infamous bedroll session. I think that was
Yes.
the beginning when we were going into
It
that
was,
cave, and
and
there was like
we pretty much killed everyone, and except for one guy,
that trio of
bandits.
guards or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was pretty much asleep, and there was one guy that pretty much you hypnotized and had him
No,
go
I
away.
used
They were
suggestion
all
on him.
orcs. What's up, 18? Yeah, Nightmare. I don't know why.
I used. Oh yeah. Speaking of abusing
Yeah.
spells to break the game,
The camera sucks.
fucking suggestion plus zone of truth is the best interrogation method.
Oh yeah,
It's my nightmare, is what it is.
Yeah,
that was rough.
I love that one NPC.
Nah, you can do the same. You can do the same thing with just one spellcaster.
I mean, you can.
Zone of Truth command
Oh.
does the same exact thing.
Command doesn't work because command requires you to only use one word.
Answer.
Answer what? That's the loophole there.
No.
pretty much 18.
Yeah.
Well, just
We're discussing the campaign as a whole.
Command answer is the same exact thing as I suggest you answer my questions.
The way I read and the wording for command tells me, both as a player and as a DM, that that there has to be more to it. I mean, I guess theoretically you could have one person ask a question, then immediately cast command and have it be answer. I guess that would work. But there would have to be no room for error in that like combo. Versus suggestion where you basically are making them your friend in some capacity. And there's in the back of their mind somewhere, there's an inkling of they want to tell you, kind of innately written into that spell.
All right.
I think the way we used it was Ivar cast Zone of Truth. Then I used suggestion on them. They failed their save, and I was like, "Why don't you answer that question and not lie?" Like it's very like you have to be very specific. It's like trying to wish from a genie. You have to be very specific with your word choice in order to
get what you want without it being like a horrible mess. Right?
Especially with Raven here, was trying to find loopholes and shit.
Y'all didn't give me a choice, and yeah, I
It's
do
like-
remember Yuzu.
It's literally like
obliterated.
it's literally like two lawyers fighting in a court case, trying to like go through every technicality in the book, trying to find every loophole. It's essentially like that.
Kind of like the video where it's the wish spell where, oh, I wish for the barrier to disappear. You walk into it, and it's still there. It's just not there. That kind of system.
Welcome, TFT Sloomer. Welcome. Your Honor. speaking of rolls, I don't think I've ever rolled as many ones in my life as I have during this campaign as the DM. So many saving throws, so many perception checks, so many attack rolls just never happened.
Yeah.
Because I rolled so poorly. Even on attacks, there were so many times where I just could not hit y'all. And I'm sitting here going, dude, this dude has a plus 13 to dexterity. He should be able to hit. Why am I getting like
God,
ones and twos and threes?
Yeah, I felt like that was, for whatever reason, wasn't right. And most of the time I wanted to say, re-roll them.
What, for
But-
me?
Yeah, because of how many times you've been getting ones and twos. Even as a player, that didn't felt right.
I mean, it's the way of the dice,
That's
man.
my opinion.
It's the way of the
Just get
dice.
just get loaded dice.
Yeah, it's that easy.
I mean, I've used every dice set I have as a DM in this campaign. Every set of real dice I have, I used. Dice, yeah. Yuzu says in our KOE chat that fudging rolls is never a good idea in combat, and I agree.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I ever did, and I don't think I did. No, I didn't.
I didn't even see the picture. Drew.
All I can think about though in regards to like really shitty rolls was the demon general. That sucked. That made me mad.
That lightning bolt.
That lightning bolt that did fuck all, yeah.
That did like
To this day
pretty
still
good.
that stat day still makes me fucking angry. Because
I don't know. That felt pretty good to me.
So
That lightning bolt literally had the ability to kill me.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and me too.
Same nightmare. So for those of you who were not here for that, so when the first initial party went up against their first like big baddie, it was this big demon shadow fiend that I'd created, and I went to cast lightning bolt on Zalo and Sylvis at the time. Oh fuck! I hated this. I hate this. Even just thinking about it makes me angry. On my damage roll, I rolled all ones, and I think it's like 6d8.
But you forgot to mention the most important fact.
It was like
This wasn't
at
just a
seventh
third.
level.
This wasn't just a third level lightning bolt.
This was 7th level, I think.
Yeah, it was 6. It was 6 or 7. So it was more than normal, but
I think it just barely reached double digits in terms of damage.
Yeah.
I don't think it reached double digits at all. I think if anything, it might have been like 10 damage, which I think was literally
I think
minimal
I was
damage.
at 14, and I ended up at like 2 or something.
It was rough, and I was glad to see that it didn't kill. I was very mad that I rolled so poorly.
Yeah.
Because if there was any indicator that my creatures, my monsters, my NPCs weren't going to be doing shit very well for the most of the rest of the campaign, that was it right there. That was fucking it. And even during the Reyna fight, there was, I think it might have been lightning blast, or maybe chain lightning.
Or chain lightning.
That also was just like, hee, here's a tickle.
No, that chain lightning did good damage.
Yeah, it did pretty decent.
There was something I rolled that was fucking terrible. I guess I could literally go back in the chat logs, but that's a lot of effort.
I'd like to forget about my terrible no good time rolling.
Don't we all?
At least you passed literally every single deck save with your plus fucking.
Listen,
Okay, Yuzu, no
you
worries.
guys also had ridiculously high modifiers higher than you should have had as well.
I only had like a +6 to charisma.
Yeah, as a PC, you're rarely supposed to have things like that in a party. Maybe one person who has a stat like that. Not
gonna hate me,
multiple
Jack.
people that have 6s and 7s.
You're gonna hate me.
So
I'm
this
pulling up 420 right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I think my damage with Reyna overall was pretty low. It was consistent, but it was low. And that's fine. Honestly, I am. Yeah, we'll see you later, Yuzu. Yuzu's going to go play with some of the other people in our community, which is really cool. Speaking of which, if you're not a part of our community, there's a little Discord button on my Twitch panel. You can click that and join our Discord. Love to have you all.
So, Dak,
anyways,
I had 2 stats that was level 7.
Yeah, you're not supposed to really be hitting shit like that.
18.
Actually, the funniest thing,
it's like you maybe find one of the fucking books that raise your stats beyond a 20 in a party. Maybe like 2 if you're lucky. But having multiple stats above the 20 line is relatively something that never happens.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Dog ended that campaign with like a 24 in wisdom. Yeah.
As for me, I got the book of quickness of action that increased my dexterity, and I had Raven's gnome character to boost that again.
Barnaby.
Yeah, Barnaby really got us with that hookup.
Yeah, they did.
And then, oh, you know, it's another thing that I totally never came up was the bag that I got that used to be Reyna's that I never used.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. So something I'm thinking about for my next campaign is it's going to be a lot more down to earth. It's going to be less crazy. I'm going to do away with my crit rule because I realized about
just do standard 5e crits.
I am
fine.
That's what I'm going to do.
Just roll an additional damage die and it's fine.
I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use 5e standard crit rules for my next campaign because I realized about halfway through that it's like, oh, this is bad.
This is
They're doing a lot more damage than I thought they would. This is not good. I had to prepare for this.
Yeah, and like the whale. That's where I turned the main.
I don't even did I even
damage.
crit on that? I don't think I crit. I think I just dealt the extra damage because it was radiant against undead.
Yeah. I am gonna stick with that though. I am gonna stick with that radiant will deal double against undead because that makes sense to me.
Because you should, because that's how it should be. And
but that's also gonna go.
I like that ability up to a certain challenge rating, not just flat. Because I think it's fine with the weaker undead being vulnerable to radiant damage, but I would assume that the stronger undead are created with a magic powerful enough to overcome said resistance. Or said vulnerability.
I've toyed with the idea as well, but I kind of like my, which I'm gonna get to, or I was getting to, is that certain classes that do primarily take their power from radiant or holy ideals, bases, gods, it's like paladins, clerics, they'll just take double damage from necrotic.
That's somewhat understandable.
I don't know. You're hitting a dangerous place putting pre-built-in vulnerabilities to classes.
I know, but I think it's something I'm gonna toy with before I actually start the campaign to see if it's balanced, if it works, and if it doesn't, then I'll just ixnay the idea.
Nah, because with doing that, you might just steer people away from wanting to play paladins or clerics.
But paladins and clerics are fucking awesome.
I know, but by throwing in a pre-existing vulnerability to the class, you might be steering someone away from wanting to play said class.
There's also
That's fair.
There's also the fact that paladins literally get a feature that makes them immune to disease.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that because I definitely had a disease I wrote up for Ivar specifically, and then we realized that he had that, and I was like, fuck. Damn it. I can't. Fuck.
Yeah, most of the players were immune to something. Like, I had resistance to poison, so couldn't use poison, but everything else hurts like hell.
Yeah, Hugo also got to a level where that made him immune to everything.
Pretty much.
There's definitely a lot that that can be reworked in 5e. 5e does give you a lot of freedom, or they give you more choices even without saying so.
Well, especially with Tasha's.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna dive into Tasha's so hard this month.
Dude,
I'm gonna
I
dive
fucking
into
love
it.
that book. It's so goddamn cool.
Also, you're welcome, Olas. But when I'm just, I like the rules that 5e presents. Some of them I just don't like them. Like a prime example, and this is general, I hate fall damage rules because it caps out. It caps out at a certain amount of damage, and I hate that.
Oh yeah, most DMs ignore the fall damage cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Punish them for falling 300 feet.
yeah, if you fall from 300 feet and die, you're
I
dead.
feel like at a certain point where like you fall from a certain height where like regardless it'll kill you. So after that point, like it doesn't really matter.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just thinking like
Like that's when fall damage should cap out. When it gets to the point where like this fall will 100% kill you unless you have like a spell or some shit. Then I feel like after that, there's really no point in keeping track.
Yeah, because let's go back to Dax's 300 feet. Yeah, with the damage cap, you go falling 300 feet. Oh, you only took 3 damage. That is bullshit.
Yeah, and there's two ways to go about doing it, where you could just max out the die rolls. But I don't know. Typically, if you
keep scaling D6.
Yeah, because if you drop, you're just gonna keep accumulating velocity. You're just gonna keep gaining speed till you hit the ground.
How do you accumulate velocity when there's terminal velocity?
Fuck terminal velocity. There are so many things in D&D that just don't make sense already in terms of like real world physics. I'm not gonna fuck with real life physics that much. But that being said, most players also don't jump off of cliffs, at least not unless they have to. Rest in peace, Alina.
Speaking of that, Raven, I actually wanted to create the dead characters too.
It's a lot.
I know.
That would be what? Ash, Artemis, Basalt. Well, Basalt's not dead, technically. Basalt's in a different realm. So he's not dead. Oh, did I tell you that, Dax?
Can you really ever die if you're a spirit?
No. Not technically. But that'd be, I guess, Artemis, Ash, Basalt, I guess, if we count that. Elena.
18 does have a point.
I think that's it. No, that's 100% accurate. You can deal 200 damage, you aren't going to face monsters with 30 HP. That's accurate. Well, that's also not entirely true. I think Dax and I had a conversation a long time ago, and maybe this was with with the party from Drome, but we were talking about theoretically if you throw enough kobold at somebody, you can beat a party at level 20s or something like that.
Oh yeah, kobolds are fucking dangerous.
Yeah. But I mean, kobolds by default only have 5 hit points. But I mean, if you have a group of adventurers fighting a literal horde or army of kobolds, they're a real threat. The Zerg of kobold, exactly. But yeah, there's so many things I'm going to try and avoid in my next campaign that I did with this campaign. Homebrew items will be a lot fewer and far between. Mainly because I've actually taken the time to look over most of the magic tables from every book at this point, and I'm thinking, there was some.
Tasha's.
Except for Tasha's, yeah.
Tasha's has some sweet stuff.
I haven't looked yet, and I'm excited. But
That's cool, dude.
There's so many items that I literally created something for that already existed, and I'm thinking, this is actually worded a lot better. I'm fucking dumb. So that mistake won't happen again. I still plan on doing experience based on milestones, not off combat, because fuck that.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
lot
no,
easier.
no one. I tried keeping track of XP. God, that's a pain in the ass. I would rather just go by milestones.
Milestone just seems nicer, anyways. If that makes sense to everybody. Like, I feel like if you do experience,
Milestone feels like the more balanced way to do it.
yeah, because like, even if you gain, if you were like one experience away, you kill a kobold and you get one experience, you level up. Your level up still doesn't take place anyways. You still have to take a long rest to gain the benefits of it, and then depending on your class, and this is something else that I've kind of I want to build more upon in my next campaign. Not to the degree that some DMs do it, where they make you go on like this whole downtime expedition to like get your new subclass or to become a bard or a ranger, multi-class or whatever. But I want there to be something. How do I phrase this? How do I fucking phrase this?
Rewarding.
I want it to feel more rewarding to complete a part of the actual story, or for completing, a side mission or side quest. Because I also feel like that's one of the ways to keep parties on track, is if you're not hanging the proverbial carrot in front of them, but you know where that proverbial carrot is. You know where you need to go to get it. So, like, instead of having a party that's just like, we're going to go to all these dungeons and just kill things before we start tackling the main story. It's like, well, okay. At the end of each one of those little like dungeon dives, you get a couple hundred experience points. Sure. But then that's all it is. It's like if you really want to start progressing your character, you have to take on something harder. Other than just harder dungeons. Mainly because I enjoy D&D primarily for plot, story, character development.
Yes, and you should absolutely give XP for roleplay encounters as well.
Yes, that is something I want to look more into as well. Giving little bonuses or things like that. My karma point system does work when it's available to use it. I found. Because I think Zalo ended the campaign with 4 karma points.
All 2 times that it came into effect.
I ended it with 3.
But when you needed it, it worked.
Yeah, I never used mine.
Well, it worked one time and it got immediately thrown out the window all because some dickhead offered a bedroll.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Speaking of that entire situation, my next campaign is going to be darker. Because I feel like with the people that I know and the people who I think are going to be interested in playing, I feel like putting dark elements in front of them and defeating or erasing those dark elements is going to be pretty rewarding for them. I think.
So what, is it like still good versus evil, or do you actually have to do evil shit in that one?
No. I don't mean like you do.
God, I
dark
swear I
evil
had a
shit.
Matt Mercer meme for this, but I didn't save it.
I mean, there were definitely elements that I removed at times before y'all reached them. That was like, I feel like this might be going too far. I feel like, some of the situations I had planned were a little too graphic.
Will you actually go into detail of how this person died, like ripped, maimed, or
not so much that. I mean, like, I'll give an example, and this is just an example.
Don't cancel on Twitch.
Yeah, the orc hair incident was hilarious, and I love it.
That's not the line I'm trying to draw.
But the scene in question with them, they rescued essentially a bunch of sex slaves. Initially, when I planned out and plotted out the points for that encounter, this is why I'm saying like it could have been darker. They were gonna basically walk into that room, and there was gonna be Orc in the middle of the act with one of them, and I felt like leaving that in would be too far. I felt like leaving that in would be too much. I don't care about that because there's no graphics on the screen, and I never would do anything like that. But
dude, I've seen hentai much darker than that. Trust me.
I mean, yeah. But I felt like that would just go too far for certain people. Even just to hear about secondhand might be too much. And I don't want... What I really want to avoid my players having to do in my next campaign, and any campaign moving forward, is I don't want them to walk away feeling defeated or sick or anything like that. Because even just thinking of the idea initially made me feel pretty bad. Like, both emotionally, mentally, and physically. I just didn't feel good about it.
Dude, the only reason... My philosophy as a DM is that the only reason to ever add things, sensitive issues like racism or rape in a D&D campaign is solely for the purpose to give your players the opportunity to just brutally like murder that shit.
Yeah, I would agree. Granted, that's not where my mindset was at the time. But that statement in general, I do wholeheartedly agree with.
Fuck doing it for realism. Do it so that you can squash the shit out of it in a metaphorical sense.
Yeah. But I do want it to be... I do want my next campaign to be darker. If for no other reason, I feel like there's a lot of elements that can still be explored, and there's also plenty of motivation for that kind of stuff. Where it's like, yeah, there's this racist group of humans over here, that's been torturing the local halfling population or, whatever. And it's gotten worse over the last few months for some reason. Like, at that point, there's two reasons to go after them. A, they're racist. And B, something is making them even more racist. Let's go figure out what that is. And hopefully, my players will be like, yeah, fuck this, let's go kill it. Yeah. I 18 says I want people to die and no one did. I don't like killing my players. I really, really don't. I really don't. I have gone out of my way multiple times to give players the chance to not die. Alucard should have died so fast when he died.
Which one was Alucard?
That was Krusty's character in, or second to last character in the Sunday team.
Oh yeah. And then he just disappeared.
Yeah, he got killed. His body was taken away, and then it was eaten by a bunch of bird monsters. But like even with Raph, like I let him do something really stupid and really crazy, and then he paid for it. Don't roll nat ones on con saves if you do something really stupid. You'll probably die, at least in my campaign. But I'm also not going to let any of my players do anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any DM likes having to kill their players, but if you go too easy on them, you take out the whole element of like risk, that there is a potential risk that your character may die.
Yeah.
It takes out a little bit of the satisfaction of the reward going through it.
Yeah.
Like, it always sucks, but, sometimes you just gotta take the L. Let the dice do their thing. And if you die, well, like, the best thing you can do is just give them a chance to go out, to let them describe how they want to go out.
Yeah.
Always save some room for some last words or something, and then at least that way, like, their character dies in a way they want them to, and then they can make a new character.
Mm-hmm. Kat and I were surprised how unscathed your party came out during the final boss fight. I was too, honestly. So here's the thing, right? Sylvis did a lot of damage. Reyna did a lot of damage, but that damage was spread.
Yeah, Silvis really just had it out for Hugo for some reason.
He rushed me. I don't like that. Atoyo stayed too far away, which was both a blessing and a curse, because if he was too far away, I couldn't hit him, but if he was far away, he couldn't counterspell. And I'm pretty sure there was at one point where he counterspelled while too far away and we didn't catch it.
I think so as well. I think it was literally when Reyna was going to use delayed fireball.
Oh, that's what that was.
Duh.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, was he even in range for that? But
I didn't think about it until after I realized
The
I was
second
thinking
time
about
around.
his. Yeah, when I was like, oh, but how far away is he? Oh, he's 100 feet away. He can't counter this. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
that was that was still funny though, regardless. The first time around, because when I got counterspelled, I was like, oh fuck, I really didn't have a backup for this. I'm gonna get fucked here. And then out of nowhere, he just came in with the backup counterspell, and I was literally like jumping up from my seat, like fucking doing fist pumps in the air, like let's go.
I know. I definitely made a giant clap for that one too.
That was definitely like the highlight of that battle there.
Yeah, but here's my opinion: if, like, say, one or two more enemies were around there, that fight would have gone differently. Because it was just Reyna and Sylvis, right? Or
Well, it was gonna be Reyna, Sylvis, and Ronan, but I honestly felt like with Sylvis the way that he was built, and with Reyna having all the spell slots and all the health that she did, I really didn't. In my head, I thought throwing in Ronan would be too much. In hindsight, I would definitely throw Ronan in.
yeah.
Because Ronan was effectively full Bloodborne at that point. So it would have been fully under Reyna's control. But unfortunately, I played it safe. Because I was like, I don't want these guys to get massacred. That'd be rude. Instead, Reyna got fucked.
Yeah. Speaking of unused characters, there was actually
Dude, I
another
was.
character. Go ahead, Juggy.
Oh, I was saying like I was actually surprised when I got the last blow on it. I was like, oh, she's dead already.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
shit. I was not expecting that.
I mean, she had 1,200 HP. She had a lot. She had a lot.
So there was actually an unused character that I made for Kairi just in case something happened to her, because I knew that was gonna happen one day, but I didn't know when. But he never showed up. I will be making an art and be posting it in one of the other channels on Discord. But there was a character named Zed that was supposed to be coming in.
Yeah, I looked at Zed.
And with it,
I liked it.
yeah, and he was just never used. Hell, he's traveling through time and space right now to different dimensions just to try to get back home. That's his end story. Not a good one.
But I'm going to address some of the stuff in chat really quick. There seems to be some conversation about players fearing death and such as that. For me as a DM, I don't want my players to dread coming to sessions under the fear that they're going to die. Apparently, I was pretty good at that, which is the opposite of what I wanted. I agree that players going into an encounter or into a dungeon or a crypt or whatever, there should definitely be the reality for them of there is a chance you could die here. There's a chance. But for me, I would rather have. I don't want my players to be tunnel visioning on that potential idea. I feel like that just does more harm than good. Thank you, Juggy.
Yep.
Players who fuck up and make bad decisions should definitely fear death. Absolutely. But
we had one person who did that twice.
No, that's the thing. He fucked up and made bad decisions because he didn't fear death, and
yeah.
You're right. That was the opposite.
But again, I gave him 5 chances to not die. 5 chances to not instantly die, and he failed each time. Okay, just for everyone who's not aware. So Ash and Artemis are the first 2 characters of our player Raph. Ash ate a magical rock that was designed to help non-spellcasters be able to cast spells once. Low-tier cantrip level spells once. Fucker ate it. And I was like, all right, that's fine. This is what happens. And after 24 hours, he did not feel very good. He had 5 Constitution saving throws. He just had to roll higher than 5. That's all he had to do was roll higher than 5. That's it.
Stark,
you roll lower than 5 once, you're fucked. You roll nat 1, you're fucked. Like dead. He rolled a nat 1 on his 5th roll and died. Second time, he opened a box that contained a powder. That powder was designed for essentially a fantasy, essentially a big giant fucking gun that the Kingdom of El was going to use.
Evan.
Yeah, it was designed to fuck things up, and without even thinking about it, he snorted it. Bitch had it coming, but again, same deal. 5 rolls. Did fine the first 4, 5th one, nat 1 died.
And while taking out other people.
Not only did he die, he took with him
Evan.
another PC, Fortunate Bastard, who was sitting right next to him, and I think 30 NPCs along with it.
No, what happened was he released a nuke. He had a 50 kill streak.
But things like that, I'm not gonna have in my next campaign. At least not accessible to the players.
I will say, had it not been for that, we would have never been blessed with a Toyo.
That
so
is
in
true.
the end,
Yeah,
I'm
that
glad
is
that
true.
that happened.
It's a win.
Also, it's a funny fucking story to tell all the time.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I want to go back onto Roll20 and have the ability to look at all the cheats.
Oh yeah, there was also Krusty's first character who just straight up wanted to die, so he picked a fight with the cleric.
Yeah.
And then it ended with her essentially one-shotting him, and then bringing him back to life. But I didn't want him to come to our side, so I kind of killed him again.
And if Johnny would have missed, I would have pulled out my crossbow, just double tapped him.
Jesus Christ, y'all. I'm also trying to avoid that.
In my defense, he did want it.
I know.
He did want a new character.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And then after that, from what I hear, he didn't want to play anymore.
Well, that was after the fact, but...
So I'll clarify the Krusty leaving. Krusty left the campaign not because he didn't want to play, but because he had so much going on in real life. And at the time, for a Sunday team, that night was rough for all of us, but it was especially more rough for Krusty. I won't go into it because it's his personal detail, it's his personal information, or his personal business. But he had all the right reasons to not play D&D, and we also didn't see Krusty in general for probably a month or 2 after that.
Seems to be doing fine now, at least. Which is the good news.
Thank God, because I love Krusty to death. He had a rough moment, and he did, in my opinion, the responsible thing, and he stepped away.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. Like I said, I love the dude. I still love him.
Love the guy. Hate his characters though.
I was gonna say, if a Toyo didn't exist, his new bard might be my favorite character. If he had stuck around, I didn't have enough time to get to know him,
What?
but
What? Fucking
Midwog Dungbone.
Fucking Midwad Dungbone.
Yes,
What the fuck?
I liked him.
Okay,
'Cause
now I need to see this because I want to know what happened.
He took off. That was when
What
Krusty left. Krusty literally brought in that character. Shit happened. And then he had to leave.
Yeah.
I didn't like Alucard. I did not like Alucard, the alcoholic fucking rogue sorcerer bard thing. That atrocity. That I didn't like. But I liked Midwad. Midwad made me happy.
And that's why I want to make the characters. I mean, it's going to take some time, but I want to make them so that they're reality. So that we can actually use them again.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I haven't deleted the campaign and why I let all of you keep your sheets. Like, if you want to take these characters and use them in a different campaign or anything like that, you're more than welcome to. Like, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to say, oh, they only exist here, you can't use them, bleh, or anything like that. Because A, that'd be fucked up. B, that'd be rude. C, I don't have that power. Ooh, I did ABC. Yeah, I win. How close did I work my players on the characters? The Artemis gag. It really was Yuzu. I loved it. Fucking artichoke. What a great guy. I could have definitely worked with my players more closely with their characters. I definitely could have. In the future, it's something that I'm going to be a little bit more on top of. But by and large, in this campaign, I kind of just let people make their things. I would go over them, make sure things were good and that were all right. And I only ixnayed a few character concepts. One was Ras, and he stole it directly from Juggy, so I ixnayed that.
No. I think in total, Raph made probably like 7 characters.
Yeah.
And only use 3.
Yeah, and I also want to avoid... So, we had a player...
We had a lot of first-time players.
We had a lot of first-time players. We had a player who got help from another player, but neither of them had played D&D before. And I only found out later, after I had made it abundantly clear on how to roll for stats, she rolled a D20 for her stats because of what another player said. And I was taken aback. Part of me wanted to retcon everything and have her reroll, but I was like, no, we're too far. Okay, this is fine. It made a lot of sense though, as to why some of her stats were fucked up, so we fixed it. But goddamn. But I like to give my players a lot of agency with their character concepts. Obviously, there are some things that I would say absolutely not to. Her stats weren't really bad. They weren't like bad rolls. Like there were no 20s.
Weird.
They were weird and they were put in the wrong spot. But yeah, I want my players to have as much free agency to make characters as they want. I want them to be able to come up with an idea, a concept, and I want to see how they execute it and how they build it. And if it looks good, I'm down for it, as long as it doesn't have something fucked up. Like I fully understand why DMs say no to satyrs and other fey races, because holy shit. I learned last night that Kalashtar probably shouldn't exist for players to play as, because I realized something. So last night on Tuesdays I play in a campaign in Icewind Dale. Well, did. I don't know if I still am or not.
Make a new character.
But I don't really have a choice. It's either make a new character or quit. I think I'm just gonna make a new character. But we're in this big ice cavern, and our cleric had Toll the Dead. Toll the Dead basically rings giant bells around you and deals damage. Now, if you pass a wisdom save, nothing happens. The bells still go off, but you don't take any damage. Kalashtar get advantage on wisdom saving throws. So I told the cleric, hey, cast that spell on me. And it worked. But I realized things like that are few and far between and kind of fucked up. And I realized how dangerous that could be in certain encounters in certain situations. But yeah, by and large, let my players do what they want, character creation wise. Make sure they roll correctly. I think it's probably gonna be like the minimal, like direct contact. I'll be like, yeah, roll. I'll be there for the rolls now. Just make sure they don't fuck it up. But past that, like, I'm fine. Let them do what they want, because we got some really cool concepts out of that. Out of just letting my players just do what they wanted to make. And yeah. I will say my next campaign will have several homebrew races and classes players will be able to choose from. Mage will be done by then, so they'll have a chance to play a mage, which is scary to think about, but it's going to be fun.
I mean, isn't all classes going to be scary? Because you can be like a monk that can fire like giant ass fireballs, or a cleric that can raise a giant undead totem.
I mean, it depends. I mean, it really depends on what you build. Pixie is not a player. No. No, you two.
You play as a pixie where you just support a character where you give out buffs and whatnot.
I think pixies are fey anyways, and I'd be like, nah. No. I like homebrew stuff a lot, as evidence of this entire campaign. Sometimes it works out really well. Other times you have things that make people leave your campaign. As I found out with Dax. But sometimes you just gotta find a balance.
Take the L.
Take the L and move on.
Take the occasional L.
Yeah. And I would like to think, and you guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong or not, but I'd like to think that by and large, when I fuck up, I own up to it. I could be wrong, but
sometimes
like to
you
think.
need. Sometimes you need a little.
A little poking, a little prodding.
Little, yeah.
That's fair.
Bend over, Jimmy.
Not that kind of poking and prodding. No. But I was actually curious, Dax, if you wouldn't mind explaining your departure from the campaign, because I understand why. And obviously, we're cool. But
Dax is kind of not in VC at the moment.
What? Did he leave?
Yes, he left a while ago.
Yeah, he
fuck?
left.
God damn it. God fucking damn it.
He may or may not be playing TTT over at Grace's.
Of course. Could have said
so
something.
do you want to explain it now?
I mean, I can't explain it. I'm not. I think the
I can explain the situation that led up to it.
The final straw for Dax was just that one session where it was given off like Tomb of Annihilation vibes, and just led him to believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tomb of Horrors, and he was just led to believe that he was only along to be killed off because of how ridiculous the traps were.
Yep. The first trap that was triggered dealt 10 d12 worth of fire damage, I think.
Which would have killed him. A wizard absolutely would have killed him, and I think that was just probably just led him to believe that why bother making a character if it's just gonna get killed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I get
which is it's not just a you problem. It's like a real common issue among DMs. Like I know the first game I played in, that was a real issue where it just felt like the whole world was against the players.
Yeah.
Where
and Hobo can back me up here. Like it was
where the guy was prone and should have disadvantage and whatnot.
Oh, that's not even the same campaign I'm talking about. It just goes to show how common of a problem it is among DMs.
Yeah.
granted, like to give credit to the other game we were in, it was like we were all kind of new to it, so none of us really knew
What to do?
how we were playing correctly. But it did feel a lot like, like why the fuck is everything so strong and why
Yeah.
are we so easy to die? Because my character, like in that campaign, I think my character died a grand total of 3 times and
Fuck.
had to get resurrected. And had we not had a cleric, he probably wouldn't have lasted like 3 sessions.
Yeah. No, shit like that's rough, and that's something I don't plan on doing again. I mean, obviously, I'll still have dungeons and places where there are traps, but I'm definitely gonna be toning back, or scaling back the amount of damage that things deal. Also, I have some ideas for some pretty intricate ones, but we'll see how it all goes. Sly, sly, lurking like a lurky thing. Yee. Lurky lurk. But yeah, no, I don't want something like that to happen again. I don't want my players to ever feel like I'm just trying to kill them, or have them fear for the characters' lives to such a degree where they think they are going to die every session. Because it's absolutely never been my intention. I never want that to be the feeling that people get. In hindsight, I can definitely see why people felt that way. But I think I have reacquainted myself with D&D enough at this point to not make that mistake. So I think moving on, it should be fine. Hopefully.
It's a learning experience.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Because prior to this campaign, I haven't DM'd anything in years. It took a long time for me to get my shit back on track.
I bet.
And even I think like even in the final sessions, like I still make mistakes, and that's something I want everyone to really keep in mind here. DMs,
We all make mistakes.
we all make mistakes, even DMs. The
Go
DM,
easy on us, please.
DMs, we know quite a bit. We have a lot of things that we do work on for our campaigns. We have a lot of ideas that we're trying to make either fun or interesting or whatever it might be. We forget things sometimes. Not all of us can be Matt Mercer.
Even Matt Mercer had to learn.
Yeah, exactly. And I know there are so many times in D&D during this campaign where I would literally have to go back and just look at basic ass fucking rules. Like I had to look at I had to pull up the conditions page so many times during a campaign where I was like, what exactly does paralyze do again? What does stun do again? What does prone do again?
Press enter by accident.
You're good.
Pay respect.
But yeah. And also, if you ever do plan to DM a game, don't give the deck of many things to players that early on. Bad idea. Trust me.
Yeah.
I pulled a big fucky wucky.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. I'm not afraid to admit. But the campaign would honestly still be going if Raph didn't get the ruin card, and the argument wasn't made against me of saying, well, he's property, ergo he's proxy of the owner, which means the owner drew the card, which means the owner loses all his property. Because it's going to wait. No, hold on. Because technically they aren't wrong. But I will say there is nothing more emotionally crippling. I know it was you, Yuzu. I know. But there's nothing more crippling than having literally months of prep and like basically all but one plot line just automatically fail and stop
Yeah.
because the core component to all the
Because
things
the Thanos
is no
snap.
longer there.
The Thanos snap.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
I think every DM needs to learn that the hard way, because that's how I used to run my sessions back when I first started Nezarek,
Yeah.
where I would really like I'd be up like super late at night every day of the week, trying to like plan accordingly sessions, set up a time on events, jot down like encounters and shit. And that was stressful, man. That really took like that was really quite a burden on me. And if I had kept up, I would have like burnt out super quickly. So one day I just tried like going into a session completely blind, like not anything planned, and just improvise the whole thing. And I found that to be so much more easier. Like, and I know improv can seem pretty intimidating at first, but it's been so much easier to run it now with you guys because the game just like you really just let the players carry it. They carry that shit on their backs. Like I don't really have to do much.
When did the dragon get a gun?
And it's honestly like been way less stressful and more enjoyable for me. And if we ever do hit a stop at something, that's when you just bring out the random encounters table.
Yeah. Hey, here's
Like
50.
I've 90% of that campaign has been ideas that I've got from my players because they just like they propose an idea and I just roll with it, and that's how.
That's how,
Yeah.
in my opinion, should every campaign of D&D should be. Like, your players tells a story and you roll with it.
Basically, yeah.
See, for me, being a DM and a player, I as the DM, I enjoy making the story and making the world and giving the players the options to kind of go through it, which is something I kind of prevented in the final sessions of KOE because I needed them to end because there was a timetable.
Yeah.
And every time I had to do improv in KOE, which amazingly enough wasn't that all that often, improv is not my strength in any capacity. In theater, it was always the thing I was the worst of. I never passed an improv class when I was in college. Like, I'm just bad at it, which is why I plan things out so methodically.
I've never taken an improv class or even so.
I'm just saying that's how bad I am at improv. Is even in my first initial career, which was theater, I was not good at like one of the core elements of theater. Like I can work off the cuff with certain things, like in a theatrical sense of like if something goes wrong with a set piece or a prop or somebody flubs a line, I can work off that. That's something I can do. But when it's a situation where I have to either just create something entirely on the spot, or when I have to, in detail go into detail about something that doesn't exist technically until that moment, I go,
Yeah, I think he did like that a couple of times, like one or twice of the times I heard.
Yeah, improv is not something I had to really use a whole lot of in KOE, mainly because as a whole, y'all were pretty good about either giving me the benefit of the doubt on something or not poking too far into the details on something, which sometimes was good, sometimes was bad. But
Or just say "fuck you," no.
I really, really hate saying no. I hate saying no, and that's a problem I have as a DM. If there's anything I've learned from this campaign, it's that I have to learn how to say no more often. Man, y'all traveled by trebuchet twice. It was great. Like, I loved it. Thank God, Yuzu, because you would have died. I don't think you would have had enough to cast it.
So here's something I want to talk about.
Yeah.
In your next campaign, if there's another Wrath incident, are you just gonna say straight up no?
Or just let them face the consequences and die.
I mean, which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the rock, or are we talking about the powder? Look,
How did
here's the
I
thing.
fucking miss that? I suck at everything.
After level 10, you would have a chance of surviving. Anything below level 10, you're dead. Level 10 is like when you can theoretically survive the Dragon Slave spell. Because it still deals a fuck ton of damage to yourself. But regardless, that's a whole separate conversation, is homebrew spells, because holy shit, did I
Yeah.
Oh, I opened a can of
had
worms on that, and thankfully it never got opened much further.
Yeah, you added like one spell to Otoyo's.
That car was honestly not the worst thing I've ever come up with. The Dragon Slave spell that I wrote is dirty. It is broken. So y'all remember the Exonria Trench, right? On the map of the world of L?
I want to say yes.
Okay, that entire trench only exists because of a miscast Dragon Slave.
Oh, jeez.
And that was cast by multiple wizards. Like, it was bad. All right, 18. We'll see you later, buddy.
Night 18.
Thanks for joining for a bit.
Yeah.
But oh fuck, I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, I suck at improv. There we go. But I didn't have to do it much. Homebrew spells, dangerous.
If you're not careful.
Dude, if any of my players pick the mage class, oh fuck.
Counter spell.
It's gonna be fun. Mages don't have counterspell.
I know. I'm making a joke.
Man, that snow sure is piling up.
So I'm actually, if people are cool with it, I wanna give some little insight, some spoilers into some of my stuff for the next campaign. If anybody's cool with that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going
I
to be
wouldn't
until,
mind.
what, April?
Yeah.
I'm 100% going to forget about this shit, so go ahead.
And depending on what days you're doing this on, I may not be able to join.
I mean, I don't know
Gotcha.
what my schedule will look like around then, but I'll try to get in that.
Because
if
I
it's
know my
possible.
schedule is always going to be the same. And I may get called in multiple times. So,
Yeah, we'll see. There's plenty of time to talk about that. But I'm hoping to start the next campaign roughly around the last week of August. I'm dumb. April. Mainly
geez,
because
I didn't know it was that far away.
it's pretty far away. There's two big reasons for that. One, I need time to basically write everything down into PDFs and then get those PDFs out to the right people.
And
I
two, to take a big break.
I definitely need a break. I need a break from DMing. I need a break from D&D as a whole. But I do enjoy being a player in Nezarec and in Icewind Dale, even though I just died in Icewind Dale. I died in the best possible way, so I don't give a fuck about that character. However, Nezarec, Lena's been on a fucking ride.
Yeah.
From War Cleric to Darkness Cleric, which then got erased off the face of the world, now to Twilight Cleric, somewhere in the middle. And it's just going to be cool. But a few things for my next upcoming campaign. As I mentioned, crit rules are going to be standard 5e. Most rules will be standard 5e.
What is the crit rules for 5e?
It's you just roll another damage dice.
Just roll another dice.
Yeah. I might change it a little bit, but not by a whole lot. Like, it's definitely not going to be a 2-time damage or 3-time damage, because that just doesn't fucking... No.
Makes sense.
I mean, to me it makes sense. It just, in the world of D&D, and mechanically speaking, it's broken. And it took me too long to figure that out. And that's a fuck up on my part.
Yeah, and by the time we were like in the middle of the campaign, it's like fuck it, might as well just roll with it.
Yeah, kind of. I figured I could just scale everything to not give a fuck about crits, and I was wrong. Crits still hurt a lot.
Yeah, they do.
But I'll be introducing the mage class, which. So some of the key qualifying factors of the mage, all their spells are isolated to mage only. They can't use any of the standard D&D spells, so everything for the mage is homebrewed. A lot of them are going to be based off of real spells, but I'm trying to make something completely from scratch to see if I can do it and if I can do it well. So it's more of an experiment for me than anything else. There are several schools of magic that you can explore as a mage once you hit level 3. There is the school of shamanism, there's black magic, there's white magic, blue magic, and there is rainbow. Rainbow is also known as spectrum magic, which kind of encapsulates a little bit of all of them, but doesn't really, you don't get the same kind of oomph if you go down a specific path.
Okay, so it's like jack of all trades, master of none.
Kind
style.
of, yeah.
Pink magic.
Pink magic, no. Crit should be 10 times damage, but
that's what I was laughing at earlier.
Critical failure is something I'm going to be exploring a bit more with as well. I think what I'm going to do with crit fails is it'll never deal damage to yourself, but I like the idea of, yeah, you go to swing, you accidentally let go of your blade, and it goes flying across the room or something like that.
Yeah, I like that. Or if you're right next to a partner, you swing, fail, you hit your partner instead and do that damage, but half.
No. That's no. That's big no.
That's pushing it quite a bit.
I would rather have you critical failure and stab yourself in the toe than have that. But yeah, with the mage, one of the things I'm working on I'm trying with it that I think is really cool is that while you do have spell slots that scale the same way as a sorcerer's does, if you run out of spell slots, you can still cast spells, but depending on what kind of spell you want to cast, it'll cost you X amount of hit points.
So kind of like blood magic, in a way.
No, because the entire concept of the mage is you don't learn magic necessarily. Like, you can, but for the most part, you're channeling your own life energy to make these magics a reality.
That's what he said, kind of like blood magic, kind of. Because
I don't know I don't know if blood magic would come into play here because it's not using your blood. You're utilizing your actual like spirit. You're sacrificing a piece of your own soul essentially to overcast spell slots if you want. So you can theoretically kill yourself as a mage very, very easily. And obviously, the higher the spell slot, the more damage you take.
Spellcasters who practice blood magic do not use spells per day, but rather their own hit points to cast spells. As long as they're above 0, they can cast any available spell. So, kind of like what I said.
I'm sure. I'm not fully read up on that.
I legit just looked it up.
I don't know. But each school of magic has their own list of spells that other schools cannot touch. So if you go down the path of black magic, you're going to have a lot of offensive spells that are going to be hard-hitting, damage-dealing things.
Yeah.
But you won't have access to pretty much any of the white magic spells, which are healing-oriented or support-oriented.
So yin and yang.
A little bit. Mages are also going to have the same hit dice as a fighter.
Ooh.
But what you mean? Like, what's the but here? What's the trade off?
Yeah.
No, they need those hit dice because they're gonna fucking drain themselves with the spell casting.
Exactly. There's that, but also mages, because they don't have spellcasting components or an arcane focus necessarily, mages have far fewer features in general to kind of help them out of any capacity. Most of their features that I've written so far are designed to help them cast spells of their specific school, especially in the sense of overcasting. So it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of the mage has to find a way to bring balance basically to themselves, to their body, mind, and spirit. Fuck you. In order to really do what they want to do. But it's going to be cool. It's going to be great, I think. Blue magic I'm really excited for because that's a lot of weapon casting magic, essentially, which I'm really stoked about. And I have a few other classes I kind of am working on that are mostly subclasses, but I'm less excited about those and I'm more excited for mage. Cause it's gonna be fun. Yeah. And yeah, I'm pumped. I feel like I got some good feedback out of this. Do you guys miss L, or are you happy it's over?
I feel like it came to a very satisfying conclusion for me, at
Yeah.
least. I still want to know what's going on with like, the rest of like
The aftermath.
the aftermath of everything.
Oh,
I mean, Rurik is happy you got to flip off Yuzu's character.
So okay, well the campaign's over, so I guess sharing this information is fine. So when the slaves
Where are they now?
when the slaves broke free, right? The city of El itself basically fell almost instantly. The changelings that were in place to take over the kingdom from there were very quickly found out, killed, and they're currently rebuilding their government. One thing that kind of got pushed to the side very quickly because of the events of the Ruins card, the Blue Dragons, they found a new home in the far, far north part of El, where they now currently are building their own new society, far away from humans. Guilt also is kind of going through a similar process as El, where the slaves rose up. Most of the corruption in Guilt is now gone,
Nice.
but they're also currently rebuilding their government as well. Trade along the inner borders has opened up again, which is nice. The Circle of Seven disbanded after Reyna died because their entire deal was Reyna manipulated the Circle of Seven to serving her in exchange for unlimited power over El. The slave uprising kind of put a big hole in that, but Reyna basically was saying, "Yeah, no, we'll get it under control for you. We'll fix it. And then Reyna died, and the Circle basically went, "All right, so fuck this. We don't want to deal with these new governments. We're gonna go back and do our old things." I really wish we could have done a Where Are They Now, but there's not a whole lot going on. Not enough people are here to really kind of tell the story that they want.
Also, the win part, Yuzu, when you were pushing me through the portal, I legit said out loud that I was flipping you off.
No, he did.
He did say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Rurik definitely gave the finger to Ara as he stepped through his portal. But I'd like to imagine that for Zalo in particular, Zalo is probably now an actual celestial being with his patron. That's my kind of belief. And I'd like to think that Rurik is now the leader of a thriving mercenary group in the Prime Realm.
In a way, yes. There was also the part where he took the money that he got from the Kingdom of El, used it to build him a little beach home, and took a couple days there.
Yeah. I was gonna try and build a nice orphanage culinary school in England. That'd be a good place to set it up. That really would be.
You can
I
still
like
be
that enough.
a fallen angel.
And yeah, I'd like to imagine that Ivar found his place among paladins again. E2 is probably leading the Industrial Revolution, assuming Jizz would want that for E2, or E2 would actually want that.
Or he's just gonna continue doing drugs.
Or he's gonna continue doing drugs. Maybe pick one.
How the
Dog is probably the head clergy of Lyra. As Lyra,
You said he became like her personal bodyguard, didn't he?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone please explain to me how I fucking cut myself with a crumpled piece of paper.
Paper cut. Done. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Guard doggo. Atoyo is probably the most successful performer in the realm.
Oh yeah. That's why I love that image that I posted. I will be posting those in
Okay, but like this is a hell of a paper cut. Like it's actually
They
bleeding.
hurt. Yes, they do.
Are you okay? Are you good, buddy?
You need...
I don't know how this happened. I was just crumpling a piece of paper and all of a sudden my finger's bleeding.
I definitely know during my sleep, I accidentally cut myself so many times. Like, when did that get there?
And yeah, for everybody else, I don't know. I assume everyone's living their best lives. I genuinely I kind of wish Grace was here because I'm really curious to know if Mavis ever actually took advantage of the ability to speak,
Or just continue staying mute.
or if she voluntarily just chose to stay mute. Because either way, like, it's still a cool concept.
Yeah. For the Discord though, I will be posting those images that I created into one of the chats. I just don't know which one that's public for people.
I'm literally trying
there's
to
a D&D
learn how to
general
draw as we
Yeah,
speak.
but I was also thinking like the KRE downtimes, like rename that into something else, like characters.
KRE downtimes.
KOE characters and whatnot. That's what I was thinking.
KOE general.
Yeah.
Maybe we could
maybe.
like, or we can just make the KOE channel public to everyone.
Oh, we could do
Yeah.
that actually, yeah.
And I will be reposting them so that people can see it.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I like to think that everyone had a pretty good life. I didn't know that she actually spoke. I thought she just put it on a sign. But I mean, if she said it, then yeah, cool. I still want to know what she did after she stepped through the portal, though. Nightmare, what is your question about homebrew? Or my homebrew classes? And yeah, if anybody in chat, if any of y'all have questions about the campaign or my next campaign or anything like that, please feel free to ask. She immediately suffered a heart attack and died. No! I
No.
liked Mavis. No.
That one is not a one that's gonna stick.
No, not a heart attack.
What?
My mage class is essentially done. The only
nice.
thing I have really left to do with it is I need to give it a few more lookovers to make sure I didn't break anything. Make sure my spells are balanced. And to make sure that the overcast mechanic does actually work. Or work as intended. Is there a good way to go about creating one that wouldn't make it just completely overpowered or underwhelming? In terms of like a homebrew class in general, or my mage class?
I think the mage class.
I think the biggest thing with the mage class in general that keeps it from being overpowered is the sacrifice to cast spells outside of spell slots is pretty high.
I'll be right back. I gotta take my dog out.
No worries.
All right.
In the fucking blizzard that's happening right now.
Oh no. And as mentioned, they don't have a whole lot of features really to them, unlike most other classes. Like they have a lot of the standard ones like cantrip, spell versatility. They have They obviously get ASIs, or the option to pick feats, but the actual like class specific features that they get are kind of few and far between. But I mean, yeah, I think the biggest thing that keeps them from being overpowered is that they literally cannot cast any of the spells in D&D proper. So the mage's fireball is different from the fireball from wizards. The magic missile is a little different as well.
Yeah.
Like, they don't function the exact same way. They aesthetically look different. And by and large, they also don't get very many proficiencies or bonuses to things at character creation. Mages only get proficiency in medium armor, and simple weapons, and that's it. That's literally it. They don't gain any language proficiencies or anything like that. So it's one of those things where it's like, the mage class is literally designed for people who want to play a caster. That's not a wizard or a sorcerer.
Yeah.
That's basically it. The second question is, how does class be like Berserker or Viking Warriors? I do have a melee class I am working on that kind of sits in that kind of category. The problem is Tasha has also just released a subclass for fighter that basically fits kind of the same aesthetic that I'm going for.
Wasn't it the
So I
Echo
might
Knight?
dump it. No, not Echo Knight.
Okay.
I had a melee class that was essentially psionic based.
And oh yeah.
But now
I
they
think
have Psy Warrior with Tasha's, and
yeah, that's what it is.
they're similar enough where I might just scrap the idea.
And just use that?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I really they're
Gunzerk, but with blades.
yeah.
Oh no, we gotta get money shot.
A mage will never be able to use a shield appropriately, ever. And they'll never have proficiency with heavy armor, so their AC is gonna be limited.
Oh no, I just Gunzerk with the gun blades.
Oh god.
It's a gunblade class.
But I don't know. I might work with. I might start working on another melee class. I don't know yet. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to write one, and write one in a way that works. That's balanced. Like I'm already struggling to balance the mage. Trying to balance a melee character or melee class would be harder. Yeah, a mage will never have 22 AC. Never.
Yeah.
Like the most that they'll probably get is probably 18 or 19. And that's without spells. That would be with like +3 medium armor of the highest caliber. Like that's the highest AC a mage will ever have. Because I don't plan on doing anything. Yeah, I don't plan on doing anything like the Mithrolite shit. So you won't be able to basically infuse your armor with Mithrolite or attach Mithrolite to it and then make something better inherently. It just won't be a thing in my next campaign.
Which we never gotten a chance to do that at all. Like we never had chances to get a good amount of Mithrolite. Like it was just here, there, boom, gone.
I mean,
one-time deal.
I mean, yeah, there was really no need for it after a certain point. And even then, like, Mithrolite comes from such a scarcity of sources where you'd have to literally go looking for it. Wednesday team never chose to go looking for stuff. Wednesday team chose to follow their mission given to them by L. And it kind of went from there.
Oh.
But Mithrolite's also very rare.
Yeah. So here's my question. You remember that after the whole bedroll thing of the Circle of the Seven.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the gun that I gave to the blacksmith so that I could actually get a weapon out of that?
He finished it at one point. I think he said it would
Yeah.
take a few days.
It did, and I couldn't pick it up because we had to leave the day before.
Oh, well. It's still there.
Yeah, with its
It's-
hands just still gripping onto it.
It's still there.
So, for people who don't
All right,
know...
Yuzu. Have a good night.
Night, Yuzu. For people who don't know, Rurik managed to get one of the guns from them, but he couldn't pull it off from the orc's hands. So with it, he's like, I'm gonna do this. Chop off their hands and just carry it back.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing that Rurik ever done. But I think other than that, other than not being intimidated by a bartender to drink fairy piss, that
Look.
had to be the best one.
Look, my fairy piss ale was great. It tasted
It
great. It was wonderful. It made you levitate. Got you drunk really fast. Like,
It was.
that was a win-win.
But it didn't work on Rurik. Because, A, he could never get drunk.
Magic.
You want-
bitch? It would have made you drunk.
You wanted to try, and it failed.
It only failed because you didn't drink it.
I know. And with it, Rurik saw through what was around the lip. Rurik saw through of the intimidation. Hell, he saw the fucking floor being polished by tiny people.
Fairy piss ale was probably the silliest thing I made outside of the pen and a beratement.
Yeah. It was funny. I always imagined, like, while Rurik was carrying Zalo on his back, Rurik just floats up a little bit and just goes back down.
But I think, I don't know, unless anybody has any more questions, I think I'm gonna move on with my stream tonight. I was gonna play some Phantasy Star Online 2 tonight, if anybody was interested in watching. And if not, that is totally fine as well. But yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? Because Nightmare, I'm happy to work with you on to see if we can find something for you. What about you, Kuro? Any final thoughts on L? Any final thoughts on the campaign?
As I said, well, for Wednesday group, I just put my head on my... I just put my hand onto my head multiple times of what they were doing. It's like, really? But it was a funny experience. If your next campaign is going to be like on a Wednesday, I may consider joining. I said may consider it if it's on Wednesday. Because I know for a fact that my schedule for working, which it will be in January, is going to be having my Wednesday and Thursdays off.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm back.
Yeah, we'll see. We're just wrapping things up here, Juggy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I would like to make one request though of showing the art that I put in for the KOE members that survived. The one I didn't do was Yuzu's, and I'm sorry to say this, Yuzu, but you said nothing to me, and I tried my best to making your character look as great
She
as
made
possible.
it herself, anyways.
Yeah, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
I try my best to making each character what they look like on the image from Roll20. That's all I had to work with.
It sure do be snowing out there though.
It sure do be snowing.
Yeah,
And
but yeah, that's my only.
I'm gonna
request
have to
of
get up,
time,
like-
to show off the art that I made that I will be posting later.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and fade on over to this. Let's pull up
that's
some of this
fuck, man.
art.
I'm not scheduled to go into work until 11 tomorrow, but I'm gonna have to get up like so fucking early. Just to shovel a path in my driveway.
So this is Zalo.
Yeah, Zalo, his character went through multiple changes. multiple times.
Honestly, it was
God.
just trying to find the right outfit.
Yeah. Other than that, when I first made him, he was pretty spot on to what his original character was. There's Dog.
Yep, this is Dog,
That's Zalo.
the bestest boy in the world.
There's Dog. That orange ball right there is his healing item. This one was a little pain because I was just going off the image, but thankfully Juggy has arcs to clarify with certain stuff.
And this is the
'Cause
final.
what-
This is the final result for arcs, right?
Yes. In the beginning, his hair was not a ponytail, but it was actually tendrils that Dragonborn are born with, apparently.
Yeah,
And
something like
with
that.
it, we changed it to that, rearranged a couple things, made him shirtless, and that's pretty much about it.
Made him shirtless. What a hell of a way to say that.
Yeah.
We took off his clothes, made all sexy and shit.
While I was working on this one, if you click on the next image above him,
Oh god, that looks emo as fuck. No, I don't want to look at that anymore.
it was funny as hell. Me and Juggy was just laughing at that one.
This is Silva and Sly.
Yeah, which pretty much I just used the same template as the female to male one. Those actual rodent ears are the
Fucking
closest things
ears,
you can get for that.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
They
you can't make an
terrify
actual
me.
raccoon in D&D,
Yeah.
which is what Silva and Sly was. This was Hugo.
Hugo was spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am very proud of that one.
And this isn't a slight against Kuro, but they made the quarterstaff look like a literal just stick.
Yes, they did.
Which
They sure did.
I kind of find to be kind of annoying.
Yeah,
We got Mavis with her
Which-
pet mouse, Melvin.
so here's a little thing for Melvin. That's actually a rat. There is no pet mice.
I mean, it looks close enough.
Yeah, I mean, they're still chunky. They're still tiny.
So-
Originally, Mavis actually had a mace that I didn't know it was a maul because I had no access, and I was just doing it on what it was.
I mean, one could argue that every time she attacked, it definitely said Maul on her weapon name, but I digress.
I didn't see it become maul. It was something else.
This was Ivar.
Which I'm okay with. It's just that some of the halberds that was in the game, even Raven didn't agree with them.
Yeah, the halberds that Hero Forge has are kind of shitty. And then over here we've got E2, which thank God they had an actual revolver because that's what he had.
Yeah, because beforehand, when I was making E2, I was going off of his image, and I didn't know what it was supposed to be. Because when I made the frog one, it was funny as hell. Because when
Bless
I
you.
tried to move the eyeballs,
Thank you.
the eyeballs would literally just look one way while the other's looking straight forward. It was real funny. But originally, that revolver was a futuristic gun where pretty much it was like, that's what I thought it was. That's about it.
Yeah, and we got some good memes from the campaign.
I thought I missed.
This is from a Toyo when everyone went through their portals, and he's like, "Goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy." Sylvis leaving to keep doing evil shit. All of it. This is really fucking good. Again, I just made the fucky wucky of not including Ronan.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Ronan's in the other chest. Right there is where Ronan is. He's just chilling.
So pretty much
Oh,
he
we
was in
never
the other
opened
chest.
that.
Never opened it. Yeah. Yeah, no, Ronan's just literally laying in that chest. Anyone hit by the Tacoma. Oh, I love this. This is what Dax sent to me before we started. The party losing Sylvis to split ideals. Silva's coming back to kill them because Vecna told him to.
Yeah, and I posted the wait, that's illegal because Raven's been going on and on about wait, that's illegal.
Yeah, I do that a lot. This was very apropos. Ara trying to keep Sly and Silva in check, and just always bouncing back. When you ask Silva where all the magic items went. Back in the day when Silva broke one of my few legendary relics that literally erased or upgraded every magical item within a mile radius. Good times. Good times.
I think my favorite one was the Office meme.
Yep. This is accurate. Yep. This is 100% accurate. I will say the only thing wrong with this is that the box didn't save them. It was the card.
Oh yeah.
But past that,
I wasn't paying attention to that, but
also very accurate for Ara. Remember any male character's name or draw 25. Ara's being like, fuck no. But she did address Zalo by name at the end, which is
shocker.
That was a thing.
that was kind of a big deal.
It really was. See, it's shit like this. This is the only reason why I let Zalo use a Toyo as a item for banishment against Ephes. Just this. Accurate. Krusty's first character, punch a child. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Oh fuck, I remember this. Oh Jesus. Otayo passed himself off as an angel, a god to commoners.
And now he actually have wings. So pretty much you just made a false idol, Raven.
I mean, that's fine. Silva breaks the box. Basalt. Yeah.
That's my second favorite one.
This was a great moment in Wednesday campaign. Band of Paladins hunting for Ivar. Was it minor illusion or was it major image cast to make him look like a goblin slave?
I think neither. I think he used polymorph on him or something.
Oh fuck. This is so true. It hurts. Ephes is still alive somewhere in a random dimension plotting revenge.
He never actually killed him. We just banished him.
Oh yeah, whatever
Correct.
happened to him?
So Ephes is in the primary plane.
Oh.
So he's technically in the same realm as Rurik, Mavis. Yeah, it's the same realm as Rurik and Mavis. But I think everybody else is still either in L or they've gone somewhere else. Zalo.
So pretty much, I get to kill him. And during the campaign, everyone had pretty much murder boulders for him. My character did not. He just kept on smiling.
I made a good villain. That's what I like to think.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I
you
wasn't
made
there.
an asshole that we just wanted to kill and get rid of.
Yeah.
Tomato.
I wasn't there when it actually happened because I had to work that day, but everyone else just hated him.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick. This is the time they literally traveled by trebuchet, which, as much as I love that, I'll probably never do again.
Probably
But
not.
that was the highlight of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, during that encounter too, where instead of just like, oh, this and that and whatnot, you had us roll D100s about that, right?
I think so, maybe.
And with it, I got a rare chance of getting triple zeros, which at the time I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah. This one I love.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. Raph being Raph. I think that's like all the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck is this? Oh,
Raccoons.
This happens far more often than any DM cares to admit. Oh God, good times, good times, good times.
Do you want to know what I've been getting up to in the past hour of learning to draw?
Sure.
Oh, let's see.
Do you want to see the results?
Duh. Send them.
Awesome.
You know what? Let's show that off for the world for a second.
No,
So
no,
our
no.
good friend Juggy practicing his drawing skills.
Did you see what Grace just said? I like how he has a head.
Oh fuck.
Uh,
Ow.
But all right, y'all. You know, Kingdom of Hell was a really great experience for me.
tune in next
Yeah.
week when my art gets showcased in the museum.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, isn't tomorrow Nezarek too? Or
That's correct.
Yes, we get to go back to Nezarek tomorrow. Which, if you're interested in watching that, everybody, I'll be streaming that for us tomorrow.
It's the Nezarek holiday special where we meet only once this month and then go back to hiatus until after the new year.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I get to be a player again.
Oh, let's just do like a one-off for that one because, it's like
I mean, it can be a one-off if you guys
Like-
want. Do you
like,
want it?
it's-
It can be non-canon.
I
What do you
want
think,
it to be canon. I want to continue.
Raven wants to be canon.
I want
I
to
think
continue.
it should be non-canon. Just
Raven
like
wants
just,
to continue the story,
Yes.
I just want
the
like
main
something
plot
like
line.
just a Christmas special for Nezarek.
No,
everyone
let's-
everyone
let's-
hates those filler episodes.
Bro, let's just go to Whitehall. Perfect. It's snowing.
Yeah, with all this sun that's snowing on there.
Exactly. Hobo
Hey,
says he wants to
that tree
continue the
is
story.
on. It's covered in fire. Neat.
But yeah, what time is that tomorrow, Juggy?
That would be 7:30 Eastern Standard. So for you, that'd be 6:30.
Da. So 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. Come to this channel for some more D&D playing.
When was it?
7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central.
I'll send a message in chat too, just to remind everyone.
And yeah, with that being said, I think we're gonna wrap up our little post-mortem for Kingdom of L. I'm gonna get ready to switch on over to Phantasy Star, assuming I can get it to not be in a like 12 by 20 window. That'd be great. And yeah, thank you, Juggy. Thank you, Kuro. Thank you, Yuzu. Thank you, Dax. Thank you to everybody who came out tonight. For those of you who are going to be taking off after this, have a good rest of your night. For those of you sticking around, I'll see you in just a little bit. All right. Cool.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Bye. And I am back, y'all, with some faster online 2. It's gonna be an interesting game. I played the ever-loving shit out of episode 1 and 2 long time ago. It's a great game in my opinion.
Which quest are you up for?
You know what? We'll go rifle.
Which quest are you up for?
Some of this shit's a little weird. Like it's just a little funky. But by and large, it's pretty. Oh god. Okay.
You.
Perfect.
No, there is a discrepancy in the perception of that phrase. Perhaps I am the one who has kept you waiting. My name is Shion. I am a being who is capable only of observation. I will not interfere with you, nor can I. However, the path you must take, the path you have yet to tread, is moldering. Therefore, I can merely set you upon it. I have calculated and predicted every potentiality, and will exhibit them here. Gather divergences and bring forth the inevitable. The divergence matrix will aid you in this task.
Divergence matrix? What the fuck?
I am a being who is only capable of observation. My role is not. I pray that the path born of my regret will serve as a beacon to guide you when a compass cannot.
So you're not allowed to interfere, but you're gonna give me an item that will help. Moving on.
Forgive me.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Sure, you're forgiven, but what the fuck, woman?
I droned on without comprehending how difficult it must be to grasp such vague sentiment. I will restructure my thoughts and state them again. Now, hear my request. I bid you go to Navarius. I will not say the reason. I cannot. The answer exists only in your future.
Then you're already interfering. You're... This is gonna be fun.
I am solely an observer. I can do nothing but observe.
As you stated, and now as you've already contradicted, woman. Or whatever you are. Cool. I'm so enthralled.
Congratulations! Once you finished with a mission, you can select ARC's missions from the quest menu to obtain your rewards. And now you have your rewards. That's the basic process for you will unlock more main missions as you play through the story. They offer an assortment of different... That's all then.
Okay, cool.
Welcome to PSO2. You are about to embark on a grand adventure on the Universal Stage, serving as a member of ARCS. In PSO2, you can participate in ARCS missions. That will allow you to unlock new content and receive a variety of rewards. From the main menu, you can access your ARC.
Can I close out of that? Cool. I mean, I'm glad that there's stuff waiting for me, but
Which quest are you up for?
kind of pointless if the fucking... God fucking damn it. I don't need these fucking tutorials. I know how to play the goddamn game.
Good luck.
Jesus. Don't care. Most of this is not going to really matter to me right now because I can't really do much with it. But at least it'll be done. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh man. That took far too long to do. Jesus. Okay, what do you want?
Welcome. Bye now.
Thanks for telling me shit I already knew. That's gonna be most of this game. It's gonna be me yelling at the game saying, I already know what I'm doing! And yeah, unfortunately, I know my audio is like slightly out of sync with the stream. I don't know why that's happening, but it's something I'll worry about fixing tomorrow. I just don't see a reason to fix it right now, to be honest.
This is the forest area of planet Nivarius. It's known for its rich vegetation and variety of native silver. Its temperate climate and low make it a perfect spot for ARC certification missions. But Fallspawn has decided, and the Sylvans are showing violent tendencies. Stay
Also,
alert.
if the volume's too loud from the game, just let me know. Because it's balanced on my end, but I don't know about the rest of you.
Congratulations on completing the objective.
Thanks, game. Anything else you want to try and reiterate for me?
Completed!
Yay! I completed a thing! Anything over here? Nope. Whoop. Whoop. Nice chunk of money. All right. Gunblade. Yeah. Grenade round. Ooh, something I can actually use. Nice. Or at least something that I think I can actually use. Of course. Transformers roll out. Oh, come back here. Oh, come on. Yeah. Marbled meat. Huzzah. Make sure everything gets explored while I'm here. Thanks for the money. Oh, damn! That's actually a nice upgrade, although I don't know if I can use it yet. I might be too low level. But we will find out very shortly here. Thank you, game. Oh, yeah, no. Absolutely is better. Thank you, game. Awesome. All right, cool.
Here you go! Here you go! Ha-ha! Here you go!
Interesting. Alright, that's all these areas. Time to move on out. Oh, hello.
Here you go! Here you go! Ha-ha! Ha-ha!
More? Don't mind if I do. Come here, buddy. Cool. Alright, moving on. Also, if anybody's curious, Phantasy Star Online 2 is available for Xbox, PC, which is what I'm playing it on. And I think it's also available on PS4 now.
Multiple readings detected in the area. Stay on guard.
I could just kill everything before anything happens. Wait, something popped up. I don't remember what it was. Shit. Advance to the final area. Okay. There they are.
Emergency! Go! Attack!
Congratulations on completing the objective.
Completed!
Is there anything else? Fancy schmancy name. Yeah. Alright, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. I attacked the rock, apparently, which is not what I wanted to do, but, you know. What can you do, right?
Sliding back up.
Oh, I guess I'm good. Solid.
telepipe. That's some basic stuff.
Picking up multiple readings.
We just chillin', hanging out. We just chillin', hanging out. Alright, Elbow. Thanks for sticking around, buddy. Have a good night, bro. And I'll see you tomorrow. Oh,
Incoming
hello,
alert.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Objective complete.
Was that really the? Was that really it?
Completed.
Lame.
Emergency. Ears open.
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Excellent job.
Completed.
Oh, I guess that's another player. I didn't know people could just willy-nilly join. Oh, joy! The boss.
Emergency!
Emergency. Code.
Oh god. Oh god, why? Oh god.
Completed.
Yep. No, we don't need any of that. Uh-oh. I mean, I do, but I'm actually going to go ahead and end the stream there. So thank you again to everybody who came out. Everybody came out for the D&D stuff. If you stuck around for the Fantasy Online stuff, cool. I just wanted to give the game a little bit of a play. Because I haven't played it on PC. I've only played it on Xbox a little bit. And then I played it a fuck ton on the original Xbox. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day, of their night, whatever you want to call it, whatever time it is for you. And I will start seeing all of you a little bit later. Have a good night.
Since I saw you, tried in vain to count the days, but I've never been so sure that I've been here before. Time is all that's come between us. No, it's not been that long. In the mirror and still see